It began, as most human breakthroughs do, with someone doing something incredibly stupid. Dr. Lydia Haynes, astrophysicist, caffeine enthusiast, and self-proclaimed fish mom, had just installed an experimental quantum heater in her pet's orbital tank aboard ISS-2. The goal was simple: keep her goldfish, Bubbles, at a cozy 22 degrees Celsius. What she accidentally built instead was a micro-dimensional feedback loop that emitted low-level gravimetric ripples. In short, her fishbowl was humming in frequencies no human could hear, though apparently the galaxy could. 17 light-years away, deep in the bureaucratic bowels of the Galactic Dominion, an automated defense AI flagged the anomaly as unregistered energy output of planetary threat potential. The Dominion didn't know what a goldfish was, but protocol demanded an immediate escalation. Within hours, a reconnaissance fleet of 5,000 ships was rerouted toward Sol System. Somewhere between Mars and Panic, Earth satellites picked up the incoming swarm. Humanity's response was swift and mature. Twitter exploded. As the fleet entered orbit, humans did what they do best, started narrating the apocalypse. Live streamers debated whether it was aliens or Bezos. Conspiracy theorists claimed the fish was government psyops, and politicians hastily arranged press conferences to say nothing. Meanwhile, Dr. Haynes sat in orbit, unaware that her pet was now the most wanted life form in the galaxy. Bubbles floated lazily, flicking his tail against the glass, blissfully unimpressed by the galactic armada forming around him. To the Dominion, the glowing fishbowl was clearly a containment field for a weapon of mass destruction. To the humans, it was a Tuesday. By the time the first alien transmission demanded surrender, Earth's news outlets were already selling shirts with Protect Bubbles printed in neon gold. Humanity didn't know what was coming, but if history was any guide, the galaxy was about to learn the hard way why you never underestimate a species that names its nukes after sea creatures. The Dominion Armada arrived in full cosmic drama, thousands of warships materializing in high orbit like an overfunded movie trailer. Their flagship, a shimmering obsidian leviathan the size of Australia, broadcast its presence across every human device capable of receiving a signal. Phones buzzed, toasters blinked, smart fridges politely asked if the user would like to prepare for annihilation. Humanity's collective reaction was mixed. Half the planet panicked, half started designing memes. The Dominion's first message came in 4D holographic splendor. Attention, subsentient species. You have activated a weapon beyond your authorization. Surrender your creator of the energy source. Naturally, people assumed it was an ad. When the translation stabilized and the word weapon became clear, news anchors across the world instantly cut to live from orbit feeds. And there, hovering serenely among the stars, was Bubbles, floating in his temperature-controlled bowl, oblivious to the diplomatic meltdown unfolding below. Governments scrambled to respond. The United Nations held an emergency session that achieved absolutely nothing except confirming everyone's video backgrounds looked impressive. NASA, in partnership with SpaceX and a very confused aquarium supplier, tried unplugging the quantum heater remotely. It didn't help. The aliens kept demanding the sentient aquatic entity controlling gravitational energy. The world's collective IQ took a nosedive when someone on social media declared, "That's our boy Bubbles, don't touch him." Within hours, the internet had mobilized. Hashtags exploded. Hashtag free Bubbles, hashtag goldfish rights, hashtag make aquariums great again. A petition reached 5 million signatures demanding legal protection for interplanetary marine citizens. Merchandise appeared overnight. T-shirts, mugs, even aquarium stickers reading "Proud Parent of an Orbital War Hero." The Dominion's diplomats, baffled by the global hysteria, attempted a second broadcast explaining this was not a negotiation but a disarmament demand. Unfortunately, the timing coincided with a viral remix of Bubbles' image spinning in zero gravity to Eye of the Tiger. From that moment onward, the invasion's tone shifted from strategic containment to cosmic regret. The aliens had miscalculated badly. They hadn't met an enemy. They'd met humanity online. The aliens fired first, because of course they did. The Dominion had scanned Bubbles' bowl and decided the only logical explanation for the energy readings was that humanity had created a miniature singularity containment unit. What they didn't know was that the containment field was just a glorified fish tank with quantum-grade water filters that occasionally burped radiation. Still, logic was never a galactic strong suit. One plasma shot later, the ISS-2's aquarium shattered, vaporizing the water in a spectacular shimmer of steam and static. Everyone watching the live feed gasped. Then, something impossible happened. Instead of dying, Bubbles began to glow. The fish, now suspended in a perfect sphere of light, started pulsing like a heartbeat. Dr. Haynes screamed. The internet cheered. One user posted, "Bubbles ascends," and it hit 20 million views in 6 minutes. The Dominion fleet, meanwhile, recalibrated sensors in pure panic. The Goldfish's scales were emitting low-level gravitational distortions, bending light and tugging nearby satellites out of orbit. Within seconds, the distortion spread, expanding into a rippling gravity well. Entire Dominion frigates started sliding toward it, as if the universe itself had decided to flush them. The flagship tried to reverse thrust, but found itself caught in the pull. Alarms blared across the fleet as the black hole, if one could call it that, intensified. Bubbles swam calmly at the center of it all, each flick of his tail sending waves of space-time distortion like ripples through a cosmic pond. In 27 breathtaking seconds, the Dominion's front line vanished, compacted into what later scientists described as a highly confused marble of ships, regret, and vaporized bureaucracy. Back on Earth, humanity reacted with characteristic solemnity by remixing the footage to dubstep. The meme, "You just got tanked," went intergalactic before the Dominion sensors even recovered. Somewhere in orbit, Dr. Haynes whispered through tears, "Good boy, Bubbles." And thus began the galaxy's most humiliating military defeat, caused by a 4-centimeter omnivorous idiot with fins. By the next morning, humanity had done what it always does when faced with the inexplicable: monetized it. Every news outlet, from CNN to obscure conspiracy podcasts, ran nonstop coverage under increasingly absurd headlines. Goldfish defies physics. Alien fleet defeated by aquatic life. And the ever-popular "Is your pet next?" Meanwhile, the Dominion's surviving commanders were trying to make sense of their losses while fielding memes of themselves wearing snorkels. The Galactic Council demanded an explanation, but the Dominion couldn't even describe what had happened without sounding ridiculous. Their official report referred to Bubbles as a planetary weapon of unknown biological design. When human intelligence intercepted the transmission, the internet had a field day. Within hours, Reddit threads turned it into a full-blown doctrine, the Goldfish Doctrine. According to this newfound philosophy, all of Earth's aquatic pets were now latent dimensional assets. Influencers filmed emotional speeches beside their aquariums. Military strategists discussed the psychological deterrence factor of aquatic unpredictability, and governments quietly began securing shipments of goldfish just in case. Japan announced Operation Koi Shield. The U.S. Navy commissioned a classified project allegedly titled Operation Bubble Strike. Somewhere, a defense contractor got rich off fish tanks. Meanwhile, the Dominion's diplomats tried to open peace talks, desperate to preserve whatever dignity they had left. But it was too late. Humanity had tasted moral superiority, and it was delicious. Every alien transmission was drowned out by holographic ads for Bubbles' energy drink, the power of the tank. Galactic analysts estimated human propaganda had inflicted more long-term psychological damage than the gravitational implosion itself. When Dominion reinforcements finally arrived weeks later, they found entire human fleets waiting, not with weapons, but with holographic projections of glowing goldfish hovering over every ship's hull. "We call it deterrence," one human admiral quipped. "You call it trauma." It was, by all accounts, the first war in history won entirely through pettiness and memes. By the time the Galactic Council officially surrendered, humanity was already arguing about which city got to host the victory parade for a fish. The ISS-2 had been towed back to Earth, its aquarium ceremoniously replaced with an oversized crystal tank inscribed with the words "In water we trust." Bubbles, glowing faintly and now legally classified as a semi-divine aquatic entity, floated inside, chewing on flakes of algae as if he hadn't just rewritten galactic warfare. Across the world, humans gathered around screens, weeping, laughing, and trying to decide whether this counted as evolution or trolling. The Council's surrender transmission was reluctant and tearful. Their speaker, some 12-eyed diplomat from the Dominion's Central Core, tried to maintain composure as he read the official apology. "We concede defeat to the fish." Halfway through, he broke down sobbing. Humanity responded with a new wave of memes captioned "Tears of the Fishless." On Earth, defense think tanks began writing papers titled "Applications of Ichthyoid Quantum Resonance in Strategic Deterrence." The Pentagon installed aquariums in every command room. NASA launched Project BubbleNet, an initiative to study biogravitic phenomena that, in truth, was just an excuse to put more fish in orbit. Somewhere, Elon trademarked Neurofin. The European Union proposed a fish rights directive. Tourism exploded. People visited Bubbles' memorial tank to feel his aura, while merch sales surpassed the GDP of small countries. Bubbles himself remained, as always, supremely uninterested, just a small orange shape gliding through filtered light, unaware that his face now appeared on flags, credits, and even a line of scented candles. When asked years later how humanity had defeated an empire spanning 1,000 worlds, one historian answered simply, "They brought logic. We brought chaos and a goldfish." The Dominion's archives would later record the event with one haunting annotation: "Do not engage with aquatic life forms from Terra. Ever."